Welcome everybody, my name is Catherine Fayol and I will be hosting this live about aeronautical operation and maintenance. For today we have two speakers, Eva, graduated in 2022, and Mark Verber, the aeronautical supervisor at ESTACA. So I let Eva introduce herself, and after I let Mark Weber introduce himself.
Hello everyone, I'm Eva. I graduated this postmaster degree in 2022, and before that I did 2 intensive foundation years, and then I joined the ESTACA for a regular engineering degree in the automotive industry. And after the pandemic, I had some difficulties. Well, all our generation had difficulties to find a job, so I decided to do a postmaster degree to focus on the aeronautical field, which I was passionate about. And today I'm working as a flight ops engineer in an airline.
Mark?
Thank you, Catherine. My name is Mark Weber. I'm responsible of this course. That's the reason why I know Catherine and Eva. I've been working for ESTACA for 13 years now, and I'm also responsible for the aeronautical branch at ESTACA. And you can see a long time ago, I was a pilot for the French Air Force.
Okay, so we're beginning this presentation the postmaster degree. After Mark will be present you the program of aeronautical operations and maintenance, and then we can answer your questions. So please write down your question in YouTube chat windows during the presentations. Do not wait until the end. So the Conférence des Corps d'École, created in 1973, it's gathered to 227 grandes écoles in engineering, management, architecture, design, and political study, graduated by French states issued at a master degree. Then, the master spécialisé or post-master degree label created in 1983 by the CGE to match the needs of company looking of high level profile needed by the market. This postmaster is a diploma level Bac +6 in France, Master of Science plus 1 year of specialization is delivered after 12 months training program, 6 months at school and 6 months in company. So I let now Mark speak about the program.
What this postmaster degree is about, it's about everything you need to found your own airline. So the program pros or the program keynotes are first, our teaching faculty is very linked with the industrial sector. We have approximately 20 to 25 speakers, and they come from the air industry or to be more precise, from the air world. And it will give you a global overview of the air transport industry. It's very linked and it's very focused for on the civilian air transport industry. There are a few glances on what's happening on the military side, but it's dedicated to the civilian air transport. So this program is completely taught in English. The professors do come from the mainly from the industrial field, and it will provide you with 450 hours of academic coursework, which are split in 350 hours of face-to-face activities and about 1 hour on a project, which will be given by one of our partners. So the skills developed, of course, you will have to work within a very constrained world in terms of regulation. So you have courses about regulation and certification. And then the second pillar is the organization and the business of an airline. You have also a glance on how is organized an airport and how it works. Then you have to understand the relationship between the airworthiness authorities, the authorities which grant the airlines and airplanes the right to fly and to take passengers on board, manufacturers and the airports, and also the maintenance and repair operators. So that's the third pillar. We have a pillar about maintenance itself, and then a pillar dealing with project management. So these these 5 bullets represents the 5 big patches of courses we provide you with. Globally speaking, it's very comprehensive in terms of understanding how an airline or a MRO, so maintenance operator, can work in in our world and in the organized how it is organized either in Europe or in Northern America. Sorry. As you can see, I caught a cold, so it might be difficult with my accent or pronunciation today. So, Catherine, up to you.
So the eligibility of this program, you have to holding a master degree and a good level in English, because all courses are in English. Non-European people must apply before the end of July, and European students more apply before the end of August. So if you have any question, you contact us on the postmaster ESTACA, this email. And if you want to apply, you have to post this email. So let me go to the questions. So the first question was, where does the class take place? In Paris? Mark, you can, or...
Yes, of course. It's near Paris. In fact, it's 10 minutes west of Versailles. The name of the city is Montigny-le-Bretonneux. In fact, to join Montigny-le-Bretonneux, it's 1.5 hour train from Paris center. So the ESTACA campus is at that place, and the courses are taking place in that campus. Maybe Eva, you can add something. Is it easy to come to ESTACA or also?
Well, personally, I lived in Massy, so it was, I think, 40 minutes away by bus, but it is a city with many bus lines and many train lines, so you can access it by different other cities.
So the second question is, how many persons will Safran hire for the next year? Only engineers?
Is the question for Safran or for us?
I don't know.
So Safran will hire, I don't remember, globally it's 4,000 to 5,000 people. Half of them are have detained an engineer master degree, but in our master it depends on their needs and so on. There are some of their needs which are tailored, which fits perfectly this formation. And if you can see the last year event, you will get the idea of how our program fits some Safran needs.
So another question about Paris. Can you live in Paris and go there every day?
our recommendation, if maybe I will let Eva add something afterwards. Our recommendation is not to leave more than 1 hour away from our campus. That means you have to make 1 hour in and 1 hour out. If you live not far from the main Paris train stations, it's no problem. Eva,
Okay.
maybe you
I
want
would
to add
recommend
something?
yeah, I think that I would recommend because there are a lot of student flats available around Saint-Quentin-en-Yvelines and Montigny-le-Bretonneux. So, in my opinion, I would recommend to live near the campus because the schedule is quite heavy. There is a lot of work to do. If you want to live in Paris, you can, but maybe you would want to live close to Paris-Montparnasse or close to a station which is connected to Saint-Quentin-en-Yvelines.
Okay. How much do we have to provide for living in Paris? Rent, food, etc. Maybe Eva.
Maybe you can start.
I think for a single room flat, if you live in Paris, I think you have to at least spend 500 euros, but I don't know if maybe you are eligible to some financial aids. And I think maybe at least 50 euros for the food per week. So that's a budget indeed to calculate in advance.
Okay. Another question about internships. About internship, could you tell us more? Maybe Mark, or after Eva.
Yes, in fact, the internship you can find after this postmaster degree, there are 4 or 5 type of jobs you may apply for. The first one is inside the airline ops organization, dealing with the company network, dealing with safety and security, dealing with for instance, the passenger reward programs and so on. That's the first type of job. The second type of job is along with the maintenance operators, which need young engineers and more experienced engineers just to do their job. The third type of contract you may have after this type of master degree is the one with in the industry with, for instance, Airbus or Safran or Thales, dealing with the customer services or the help to their customers, or doing how to write their maintenance books, so to say. And also in the logistic area dedicated to airlines, there are some examples of past jobs. The other side of this question is, what do we do inside our school to help you to find a placement? We have a dedicated service which is available to every student to help you to find a placement and afterwards a job. We are not going to provide you with a dedicated placement. It's up to you to find your placement, but we have connections and partnerships with most of the big name of the industry, and this industry in particular, and we are posting on our website, dedicated website, all the offers which are transferred to us. Maybe Eva, you can say where you have made your placement and how did you find it?
Personally, I did my internship in Air Caraïbes Atlantique and French Bee. I found it, well, it was using LinkedIn because the offer was published on it. But frankly, the really positive point is that you have really a huge variety of internships which are available. It really depends on what you want to do. If you want to work really in the operational sector, so you can work in an airline, you can work in Safran, Thales. Also, you can work at Dassault in the military area. So it's really, really various. And whenever and when you are ready to select your internship, you can contact the ESTACA to see if they have any contacts in this domain, and maybe send them an email. And it's really easy, and you have really a lot of choice.
Okay. About internships, should we find an internship in France, or can we find an internship in other country?
In any country, of course, it will be, I guess, difficult to find an internship in Russia, but we accept internships throughout the world. Maybe Eva, you have examples of your fellows having taken a placement abroad.
I don't think so. I think that they all stayed in France.
Okay,
for
but
the 6 of us.
In the previous entries, we have had internships in Malaysia, in Iran, also in India, and so on.
Okay, a last question about internship. Is it paid, the internship?
If in fact the law of the hosting country applies to your internship. If it's in France, yes, it is paid. The minimum fee the company has to pay to you is about 500 euros, as far as I remember, but the average is more between 1,000 and 1,200. Eva, if you want to add something, maybe I'm not accurate enough.
You said it all. To me as well, it's around 500 minimum, and personally, I had 900, and some people had above 1,000. It really depends on the company.
Okay. A question about software. Do you use software, and which one during the courses?
Maybe Eva, you want to answer first, and maybe I will complement.
We didn't really use our computers. It's more about doing reports, doing internal research, but we do not really use a specific software. I think so. Right, Mark?
Yes, I think you're right. Being a student at ESTACA, we'll have access to the 365 Office series, and that's all you need to attend to the courses.
So I have a question now about French. Is knowledge of French language is necessary for working in France, or they can use only English in the company?
I will start first, and maybe Eva, you would like to add something. It's better to have a basic understanding of French, and afterwards it will depend from the companies. There are companies, just like Airbus or Thales, which language is, so to say, English, because it's more Airbus or Thales than real English. But that's it. In other companies, French is not maybe mandatory, but it will be quite necessary, I would say.
Okay. About financial solution, is there any scholarship for this program?
There are not dedicated scholarships. Our prices are different if you are experienced or you're just pursuing your studies. So if you do seamless studies, the price is lower. But that's all I can to say. We have not today dedicated scholarships to this program. Maybe Catherine, you can contradict me, but as far as I know,
No.
there are no scholarships.
Not today. Not today. So I have another question, especially for Eva. Can you explain your job, your mission, in detail today?
So as I said earlier, I work in the flight ops department of, Air Caribbean French Bee. And, to summarize it really quickly, we tend to work around 3 different sectors. It's about the documentation. So the documentation which is written by the company, and also the documentation which is published by Airbus in our case. We also study all the performances of the aircraft, concerning, for example, the opening of a new destination, whether we can land and take off in that terrain. And finally, there is also a sector which is the electronic flight bag, and it's all about the digitalization of all the processes which are used by the pilots. And basically, we are really here to support everyday's operations, and more especially the pilots.
Okay. Another question: do they offer confirmed job during studies? The company, I suppose.
Some of our teachers do provide with offers for the placements, and after the placement, if the company and you fit together, you will be given an offer. But some of our professors do propose some placements. And I can, some coming from Air France, some from smaller companies, some from Aéroport de Paris, which is the company which is the larger company dealing or managing airports in Europe. And there are also examples from Safran and so on. Maybe Eva, you can give you some example of teachers providing with placements.
There are few teachers. I think it was the one teaching, and he was working in Safran Landing Systems. I don't know if it was Safran Landing Systems or another branch. And also Corsair, so Yann Reber, he also offered some internships. And concerning the possibility to have a job after the internship, I would recommend to talk about that during the interview before the internship, to see if afterwards they are looking for, if afterwards there is an open position in the department, and you will have your answer, because all the budget is estimated a few months before. There is a lot of chance that you will have your answer right in the interview. And of course, it would depend if there is a good match between during the internship.
Okay, a special question for Mark. Do we learn the train monitoring of structure and engine?
What do you mean by train monitoring? As landing gear?
Training, about trend. Do we learn the train monitoring? I don't know why, of structure and engine. So
I'm sure I'm understanding really exactly or accurately the question. About engines, we have a dedicated course dealing with engine maintenance, and also we have a course which is looking about data science. In fact, a modern aircraft is providing companies and operators and also the manufacturers with lots and lots of data. And we have an introduction. There's not a real course about data science, but we provide our students with an introduction of how to deal with such amount of data. Maybe you understand the question better than me, Eva? because
I think you understand at the same level with mine.
If you are not satisfied with my answer, please precise your question.
So another question about how many places for this training, and also what's the price?
So we have at the maximum we have approximately 15 places, and the price, if and correct me, Catherine, if it has been modified. It's if you're going on with seamless studies, is 10,000 euros, and if you're experienced, it's 13,000. And also there is a special price for ESTACA alumnus.
Okay, when does the training start?
It starts on the 1st of October, on this day. It happens. It's a Saturday or a Sunday, so very early in October, and it ends, so to say, mid-February. And afterwards, you have your placement, which is to be approximately 6 months. The required duration is 24 weeks minimum.
So we come back to the other question. Train monitoring, EI, life of aircraft during operation. Yes, my question related to data. Thanks.
I think I answered partially with the data monitoring, and on the maintenance side of the courses, which is approximately 30 to 40 hours. It's not only about how maintenance is organized, and so you have also a part of the course dealing the way you survey or control the data is coming from for your aircraft. In order to try to not imagine, but to try to figure out what's the future life of your aircraft in terms of taking care of it is.
So it's the last question. So I now thanks to our speakers for your questions. Before I would like to remind that you will find more details about programs and courses on ESTACA.fr. Also, if you want to go further and submit your application, we invite you to create your profile on the admission website at admission.estaca.fr. So, goodbye and thank you.
Do not hesitate to join us if you cannot have your question answered.